Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. So first of all, congratulations. Thank you again for four great movies.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them.
No, they're great. I mean, despite COVID and everything that's kind of you battled through this time with COVID even more so than the first four, I imagine. I think you've come through with four even stronger movies.
Oh, good.
Can you?
Oh, good.
I don't know if that COVID had something to do with it. I mean, maybe it has. Maybe the kind of the struggle made things even more so. I mean, how have you suffered through COVID to get the films out in due time?
COVID, it has obviously it's overall it's terrible, but there are certain silver linings to it. I think it's made the company kind of more efficient. There's less time for there's no small talk on Zooms. And
Right.
that's helped certainly. But I think, in the history of scary movies, when the world outside is dark, artists generally tend to produce better scary movies. So I think more than anything else, I think that's what's we've had a better choice of things to make as a result of COVID, I think, which is, I'm not necessarily happy about, but it's made for four good movies.
So I mean, obviously, The Lie, Nocturne, Evil Eye, and Black Box, they were great, but I felt that they didn't kind of they worked together, but they weren't very specifically kind of intertwined, if you know what I mean. These ones feel more kind of a piece as a whole. The last four, maybe that was why I enjoyed them more so. Can you explain a little bit what was the criteria for these eight films? And I mean, it must be really complicated to decide which four to choose, because obviously people are going to then start comparing and kind of they want to know why these four were chosen to go kind of together.
Yeah. I think the criteria for choosing all eight movies, the only criteria we had was they had to be scary and good, and they had to be from underrepresented filmmakers. And I think we got better at making that mandate not just picking underrepresented filmmakers, but for these next four, we picked underrepresented filmmakers, and the movies are largely about underrepresented groups of people. So I think that might make them feel more of a piece. The four movies are of a piece. It was very important to me that the movies remain entertaining. I didn't want four history lessons. So, and I think we checked that box. All the movies, they're pretty out there. They're pretty wild, but they do all share a little bit of DNA, and that they're all about people who are not are underrepresented, and also groups of people that are taken advantage of. And I think that makes them feel more cohesive as the group of four.
Mm-hmm. Something that I felt that differed this time, which I'm glad for, was the fact that kind of two of them were more serious, and then two of them, they were serious. They dealt with serious themes, but they had a lot more comic relief in there, which I felt really kind of helped us to see these lessons, but also to kind of learn to laugh at ourselves a bit more, that we kind of need right now. Was that something that you wanted to go for this time around?
We didn't. It worked out that way. We didn't set that as a parameter for choosing the movies, but it did work out that way. And I have found, theatrically, when you do a horror movie, it's very hard. You can't, if you try and do a horror I wouldn't define them as horror comedies, but even some comedy theatrically is really tough. But for streaming, you can really play with jokes in a horror movie in a way that you can't for a theatrical movie. So I was glad to get to do that this time around.
Mm-hmm. And also, it felt much more. I mean, there was plenty of female actors and directors in the previous one, but this time felt even more female predominant. Not just that there was three directors this time that were for women, but also pretty much every main protagonist was a female in this time around. Was that something? Was that happenstance, or was that specifically we thought even more? Let's go for it even more this time around.
No, but we didn't set out to do that, but I definitely was leaning towards that. I definitely wanted this next group to be not just, like I said before, not just underrepresented directors, but I also wanted them to be about, people who get less screen time, and sadly women fall into that category. So I think that was part of our thought of, like, let's try and not just have the person behind the camera, but also the storytelling in front of the camera be about groups we don't often see movies about.
Mhm. And also, I felt a lot more inclusion of older people, veteran actors, especially Bingo Hell and Madre, for example. That
Yeah.
was something that I love to say. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older as well. But I love
And the
to see
manner,
these. Sorry, that's what I meant. The manner. Sorry, I meant to say the
Yeah.
manner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think it's because I'm getting old. I think it's just I think those films feel a lot more grounded, and there's a lot more that people can really kind of dig their teeth in. I mean, I was speaking to Adriana about Bingo Hell, and she was so happy that she'd been chosen for this film because it gave her it reinvigorated her.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I'm glad. And you don't often see, I mean, we've done it a lot. We had a lot of, we had a great success with Lynn Shay and Insidious. We've done, many movies with her, and great success with Jamie Lee Curtis. We're now about to put Ellen Burstyn in The Exorcist. So we've had a lot of success with older women in particular. And yeah, we're continuing that here. I think they're overlooked a lot of the time. There are these great talents, and people like to see, people like we did a movie with Lynn Shay. We did with the first Ouija movie or the second Ouija movie. Anyway, she's the star of the movie, and we got a lot of heat for, wow, who's going to go see a movie with Lynn Shay starring in it? And excuse me, it was the fourth Insidious movie. That's what it was. It was Insidious.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes back to the,
it was all Lynn's. Yeah. It was her whole movie, and we got a lot of heat for that. And the movie did great. People loved it. I think there's a resistance to doing that, but it doesn't make any sense in my mind.
No, Lynn's fantastic. No, she's brilliant. Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to go back to COVID again. Obviously, Blumhouse has been. They were pivotal when it came to kind of the time around Paranormal Activity and all these kind of movies that kind of played on small movies becoming a huge success. Now that the coronavirus kind of kicked in, I'm sure, I mean, we've seen films like Hosts, and these kind of films have kind of come out of this. What have you been receiving? What kind of things have you seen that have changed because of coronavirus that you think will really kind of evolve over the next couple of years that we'll probably see now in the horror genre?
I think I don't know. I unlike a lot of other people I've read, I don't think we're going to see a lot of movies about being stuck in quarantine. I think people have lived it. They don't want to see movies about it. We're not making movies about it anyway.
But I mean, in terms of the kind of the way that people tell the tales and the filmmaking techniques, it must have changed. You must have noticed that a lot of the pictures have changed since COVID kicked in, no?
Yeah, they have. They're dark. They're people, people are sad. So I think we're seeing a lot more horror, but I've been encouraging the people we work with to try and, tell stories outside of your house. I don't think people are sitting in their house all day. They don't want to see more stories about people sitting in their houses.
Definitely. Well, brilliant. Thanks so much for speaking to me, Jason. I wish you the best of luck with the 4 film. I'm sure they're going to go down really well. And I hope to speak to you again sometime soon.
Thanks so much.